Welcome to the new Workology Go Podcast. In just under 5 minutes, we'll get you the HR and workplace news you need before you start your day 2 times a week. Get ready, get set, and go with the new Workology Go Podcast.
Here are today's HR and workplace news headlines from the Workology Go Podcast. I'm Jessica Miller-Merrill. This podcast is sponsored by Learn by Workology. Writing or talking about wage inequality hurts my heart, not just for myself, but for other women, but also as a mother to a 10-year-old daughter. Recently, an HR tech company reached out to me asking for my opinion on a couple topics surrounding women in the workplace, specifically about HR and the talent industry. So the employee asked me, what makes the role of women in talent more important than, say, 5 or 10 years ago? And I said, I think it's important to have diversity in the stories, perspectives, and people represented. And we're making small but visible changes. There is still so much to do. As a parent to a daughter who is now 10, I've taught my daughter she can do anything. Her gender shouldn't matter, but I think that many people are like me and that they've struggled themselves experiencing bias and want to make the world a better place for their kids. That includes talent in the HR industry. The talent industry has really always been female dominated. It's only now more women and male allies are helping each other and bringing forth those stories and experiences. Personally, I'd like to see more female thought leaders and CEOs in our space, as well as CHROs. It's up to us to ask for and expect from our future HR leaders even more diversity in their mentors and leaders, not just for women, but promoting all types of diversity, including race, people with disabilities, and educational and experiences. Now, she also asked me the second question, and she said, as a powerful woman in talent, what does winning look like for you? And so my response to her was, winning looks like when my daughter doesn't have to be told she can't do something because she is a woman. Winning looks like when everyone feels comfortable being themselves and companies are flexible with whatever career or personal aspirations, goals, or dreams they may have. Winning looks like when bosses like mine in 2008 don't tell their HR directors, me, that a new mother's place is in the home with their newborn daughter and not leading a team. That's what winning for women in the workplace as leaders looks like to me. Today's featured story is from Time Magazine, and it is titled, Women Don't Just Face a Pay Gap at Work, They Are Punished Far More Than Men. I wanted to share insights from a Workology podcast interview with Katherine Jewell, who has great insights to increasing your income levels, especially for women. And I think this definitely applies in the HR and talent industries.
Well, what you need to remember is when you're seeking a new position, you need to act like all the other job seekers. And so you don't want to reveal that information, and there are a number of different ways to get around it, but the most important way to get around it is to simply avoid the conversation. So when a recruiter calls you from your LinkedIn profile, you're going to start out by saying, well, the job sounds really interesting. Tell me more. And they're going to say, how much do you earn? And you're going to say, well, I'm a human resources manager in a global company. I think you could probably guess my salary. But it's more important right now that we know that this is the right job fit. So in other words, you're going to avoid the answer. You do not speak numbers.
The Time story cites a research study that found women and minorities have less power in organizations and are found to live in tighter worlds. Tighter worlds mean that they're subject to much stronger punishment for the same norm violations. Majority men, by contrast, have greater power and more latitude to deviate from the rules. They live in what is called looser worlds. This article is the reason that I responded to the HR person or the HR tech representative the way that I did. Are you recertifying soon with SHRM or HRCI? Workology is offering a free recertification tip sheet. helping you recertify effortlessly. Text RECERT, RECERT, to 55678 and get our recertification tip sheet delivered to you directly. Get out your phone, text RECERT, RECERT, to 55678. And that's this episode of the Workology Go podcast, sponsored by Learn by Workology. We're your go-to for HR and workplace news. I'm Jessica Miller-Merrill. Thank you for listening.
To learn more about the Workology Go podcast, subscribe to us on Apple, Google, and Stitcher. Our podcast is also available on Alexa and Google Home. Learn more at workology.com/Go podcast and access this episode's resources, links, and reports for more information.